And we are back here at radioonfire.com. Yours truly, Diamond K. And my conversation is continuing with Corey J. Johnson. You are author.
Yes, sir.
And we were talking about your first book, PI Chronicles, which people can pick up now on Amazon, correct?
Yep.
All
Amazon,
right.
Barnes and Nobles,
Books, the whole thing. And so, and we talk about Courageous.
Yeah.
So go ahead and talk to the listeners about how this book came about.
Well, Courageous is I had 4 books out. PI Chronicles is like a 3-part series. So Courageous is it's the book that I'm primarily pushing right now as far as promotion. It's about my brother Avon Johnson. In the street they called him Flubber. So Avon Flubber Johnson. And the book is it's loosely based on his life. So it's fiction, doesn't mean that, loosely based. Is everything that's in the book is an actual factual. You know what I mean? I'm a writer, I'm a visionary. So some things we had to, embellish on and creatively make some stories go together. But it's about a man who grew up in the streets of Baltimore. He gained a lot of notoriety and as a notorious gangster, turned drug dealer, turned drug addict. And it talks about how he had the courage to turn his life around despite all of the things he was going through in his life, losing all his money and becoming deathly ill. But he committed his life to helping as many people as he could get off the streets. He felt like because he had ruined so many people's lives by selling drugs and doing all the things he did out in the street, he felt like he had to try to save as many people as he could. And because his reputation was so big and he was so well known, he was so popular, he was able to do that like in a large way. He didn't just, help 5-6 people get clean. Like he helped a lot of people get clean. And he passed away in 91. But to this day, people still mention his name to me. Like he's so relevant. In NA meetings, people will say, so-and-so stood up last night, man, and they talked about your brother. They talked about Flubber, how he saved their life. Or if it wasn't for Flubber, they wouldn't have got clean and stuff like that. And this is to this day. He passed away in 91. So that's what inspired me to write the movie, because I was like, if he was that influential, that relevant to these people, then maybe there's a, story. Maybe he can use me to reach back through the book and save some people's lives.
Yeah, I mean, that is really, I know that has to give you a good feeling that he impacted those people like that. Were y'all close?
He was much older than me. I mean, I'm talking about like at least 20, 25, years older. So we weren't that close, but we was close. My family period is close. So we all are close, but I wasn't there like right in the midst of the things he was doing. Like I found out later on the type of person he really was, who Flubber was. We knew him as Avon. He was always just Avon, loud mouth, boisterous, swagger through the roof. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know that he was a gangster. I didn't know he was a drug dealer. I didn't know he was a drug addict. So all of those things I found out later on.
Yeah. So was it difficult writing this book?
No, not at all. It's funny because once I got the inspiration and I got I guess I got up the nerve to put the pen to the paper and start, typing it out. It just flowed. The story was already there. I didn't even know it. I feel like God and my brother's spirit, maybe my mother's spirit, I feel like they reached back through me and helped me write the story. Because there's certain things in the book, it's like, I don't know where that story came from. You know what I mean? Like I go back and read it and I'm like, I don't remember writing this. It's like, it's great. Words is written well. It's a compelling story, like a certain chapter. But I'm like, I don't know where that came from. You know what I mean? So I feel like he reached back. It wasn't difficult. It was easy.
How long did it take for you to write the book?
It may have taken me about a year, maybe a little bit more. But just to get the meat of it, most of the story, probably about a year. Yeah, but I want to package it right. I want to edit it. I wanted to, make sure it was done well. So I recruited some help from some other people. Shout out to my cousin Yolanda Wright. She helped me edit and put some of the chapters and everything together. It was a work in progress, even though I had already written PI Chronicles. I was still learning as a writer. So this is like my baby. I feel like this is my best work. So I wanted it to be done right.
Yeah. And people can get this on Amazon.
Absolutely.
So we have a paperback and we have a digital.
Yep.
And some plans maybe to go even bigger than that.
Hopefully, that's the plan. I mean, from day one, I always envisioned that this story was bigger than just a story in my head. It was a story that was I had to get it out and put it in paperback and get it out in circulation for people to read. But I also always felt that it was bigger than that it could be a film or TV project. I mean, I love The Wire. I'm a fan of The Wire, The Corner, all of that. But I think this is a bigger story than that. I think it's, if I was given the opportunity to turn this into a film project, that it'll be very impactful to save some people's lives.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's definitely needed out here, especially here in Baltimore. And then the story being based here in Baltimore, I definitely think is good. So people how can people reach out to you?
My Facebook is Corey, Corey Jay, last name Johnson, Johnsson. I'm on Twitter and IG, Corey Jay 31.
Right. And then people are going to be able to see you in person at the African American Authors Expo.
Absolutely. It's an event sponsored by Morgan. This is my first time participating. It's like a 2-day event. They have like an award ceremony on Friday, and then they have the actual expo on Saturday. So I'll be there with all my books and my pen in hand, ready to give some autographs and sell some books.
Right. And sign some books, take some pictures.
Absolutely.
Shake hands and kiss babies, as I like to say.
Hey, whatever we got to do to sell a book.
Right. So, we were talking a little bit about some of the things going on here in the city of Baltimore, but just throughout the world, really, with regards to the police killings lately. What were your thoughts?
Oh man, I mean, I'm a Baltimore native. I'm a black man. I have kids. I mean, what do I say? It's the world is in a really bad space right now. The Freddie Gray thing, is big. Watching it on the news, how the citizens went around the city, setting cars on fire and looting stores and all that type stuff. And I mean, this is our home, so that was personal. You know what I mean? When you see these videos come about of the police officers shooting these guys, it's unjust. It's wrong. It's sad. And even though I may not live in Memphis or Dallas or these other places, it's still personal because all of these things really are connected. You know what I mean? Yeah. They go together. So we as a people, man, we got figure this thing out and make some changes. I mean, a lot of changes. It's not just the violence part. I mean, it's psychological, social. You know what I mean? It's just a lot of things that need to change. It's not something that's going to happen overnight.
Right.
This is part of the process. You got to take the good with the bad. I feel like we're going back to the 50s and the 60s. That's what's so crazy about it, because it's like the powers that be, the people that make the laws or make the decisions, see this stuff going on, and it's like they think we're stupid, like we don't know what's going on. And it's like they slap us in the face and say, like these we were just talking about the verdicts earlier with the trials and the police officers and the acquittals. I mean, I mean, what are we, stupid? Like, everybody see the video. Like, what are you talking about? Like, how is this happening? And it's not an isolated incident. It's like this happens over and over and over. How many times is it supposed to happen? Like, so yeah, we gotta make some big changes, man.
I remember when the OJ verdict came down.
Mm-hmm.
Even with the whole Rodney King thing, I was just coming out of high school at that time, and so I mean, to me, it seemed clear and evident. There was a video. They were beating the mess out of him. Absolutely. It seemed like a completely open shut case.
Right.
Acquittals, and here we are, over 20 years later, and we have not the same situation from the standpoint of the beating. Mm-hmm. But to me, the part that frustrates me the most about the Freddie Gray thing is that the beating happened off camera.
Right.
Because they're dragging him. He's clearly in pain. We've seen people get locked up, like you say, back in the 60s, 50s, 80s. We've seen people locked up a whole bunch of times.
Right.
And when people are in pain, when they're fighting, it's just a different kind of look. But this brother was definitely in pain. He was hurt, being put into the vein, and I think this is a police brutality case. They're not addressing it like that. And I think that the knife that he had was probably legal, and I think they were just messing with him.
Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna get away the way it appears.
That's what it looks like.
And so I don't know the direct solution. I hope that we get to a point where these cases are investigated by the Justice Department and not by the same judges that they work with. When they're trying, regular citizens, they work with these people all the time. The police are the witnesses on the cases.
Absolutely.
So the judge that's presiding over them is just, I don't know. It's one of those things. Donald Trump, a footstep away from the presidency, to me, would make things worse than they already are.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
we might as well all just pack our bags, and I don't know where we're gonna go, but if Donald Trump getting office, man, it's a wrap. Like, you can forget about
it. Yeah. Hillary is flawed, definitely, but she would be much better than Donald Trump.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. Unfortunately, our two presidential candidates is like the lesser two evils.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, which beating do you want? Which one is going to be less painful? You know what I'm saying? So, but if it's Donald Trump, it's hands down. Like, it's a no-win situation. At least with Hillary, we got a chance.
Right. I think with Hillary, it's going to be more of what it is now. She's not as she doesn't appear to be as honest as President Obama appears.
Right.
But and she doesn't have any charisma. Like, her husband had like charisma to spare, and she does not have any charisma. That hurts her. But I'm thinking that she's going to win now. Trump just seems unelectable.
Yeah. I mean, that's who I'm voting for. I'm voting for Hillary. But again, both candidates suck at the end of the day. So I think with Hillary, her husband's probably going to have some influence on her decisions and things like that. So, he's part black. He's like half black. So
right.
Maybe they'll have a little bit of sympathy. But like you said, going back to what you said before, the Justice Department, some of the laws in the legislature has to change with, how it's like the police us, but who polices the police?
Right.
Somebody has to oversee that.
Right.
It can't be the FOP. It can't be the local judges and all that type stuff. It has to be an outside entity that's not funded through, local government or whatever. It has to be something on another level to come in and then impartially, unbiased come in and do an investigation and figure out what really went on.
Yeah, absolutely. Until we can get to that point, I don't feel that Marilyn Mosby gets enough support. And I guess it's not often that people want to support the state's attorney, right?
Right.
But in this instance, her doing the right thing, I think, which is bringing charges against the police officers that did something wrong. I would have wanted the charges to be different than they were. But I think it's kind of like take what you can get. It's so rare that this even happens. We got to kind of take some baby steps and then get to the point where things are just. But it just seems to me And this last in this, because I know you, this is not, what we were supposed to talk about, but it seems so strange to me that the police encourage citizens to, if you see something, say something, that type of thing, but they don't do that themselves about officers that do wrong.
Yeah, I asked the question to a friend of mine the other day, like, okay, after these particular recent incidents happen, you hear all of these officers coming out making videos and public statements saying they're good cops out there. And I agree with that. I know they are. I know some of them personally. But where are they when these incidents occur? Where's the good cop to intervene to tell that bad cop when he pulls his gun out that that's not the right thing to do and stop him from doing it? Where are they when it happens?
To come full circle, they are not courageous.
Wow.
They are not courageous, because it takes some courage to say that, because then later on, it's going to be like so-and-so said this, and, and then, hazing or maybe not hazing, but I guess bullying, that type of stuff is going to happen. And they're scared to say something. They lack the courage.
Yeah. I mean, it's sad, like that female police officer that made the video that went viral.
Yeah.
We need more officers like that.
Yeah.
Who take their job seriously and stand behind their word. We need officers that I don't know. I don't know if the whole police system across this country needs to be retrained, revamped, taken apart and restructured. I don't know. Maybe the commanders and people underneath of them need to be trained or go out and do some I don't know. Something needs to change. That's all I know. I believe that, there's some good people here and there, and it's probably more good than it is bad.
Right.
But from our perspective, what we see, and some of us deal with this every day, just like I said earlier about The Wire, we live this every day. So the people that's watching CNN and they all up in arms because they don't see it happen every day. We see this every day. So it's not an isolated incident. This goes on,
right?
So we want some change. Something has to change.
Yeah, absolutely. And so once again, we ventured off into a little bit of current events. The book is called Courageous. It is available everywhere books are sold, digital and paperback form. And once again, how can people get in touch with you on Amazon or anywhere books are sold? How can people get in touch with you?
You can get in touch with me on Facebook, Corey Jay Johnson. First name Corey, spelled Corey. And I'm on Instagram and Twitter, Corey J31.
All right. Very, very simple.
Holla at your boy.
Definitely. Anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
I just want to thank you for having me on the show. I want to thank the African American Authors Expo for putting this together and giving me the opportunity. And I hope everybody go out and support my book, Courageous. It's a great book. Go out and get it. Like I said, if you want an autograph copy, just contact me personally. Holler at me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
There it is. There it is. All right. We're about to go into the mix. So stay tuned. RadioOnFire.com.